Good morning and welcome to the new edition of Widen Your Knowledge and Horizon. We have numerous problems, and every day we find that the new technological developments take place. But have you ever wondered what is the source of these new technologies? Right from aeroplanes to medical glues to tiny robots, nature, Mother Nature is the inspiring deity behind all the progress. By observing how organisms have adapted themselves to the variety of challenges, we have been able to discover new ways to solve our own problems. The process of natural selection is the base of all technological progress, and countless generations of millions of species had developed numerous ways to defy gravity, stick to the objects while underwater, and even live thousands of times more massive than yourselves. A historical example is Wright brothers. They studied the birds, they observed the shape of the wings that affected the airflow, and incorporated that information into their invention of making the first aircraft. And that enabled them to have a sustained, controlled flight. So, seeing the birds flap their wings and fly enabled them to start the aviation industry. And today, again, the aviation engineers use the same strategy and now they're focusing on the owls to make aircraft quieter, to reduce the noise pollution and the discomfort. And with the tools that allow us to study organisms of molecular level, we have everything from sea creatures to woodland animals to inspire our scientists, our medical doctors, and that affects all of us, including our lives. One company has been very, very vocal about it, and they've adopted a strategy called biomimicry in gecko biomedicals. Now, gecko is an animal which sticks to the ceilings even and doesn't fall. So they simulate the tiny hairs that allow gecko to stick to the walls, and they are able to design a duct tape. And this duct tape shall enable the internal organs to be tied together. Instead of suturing or sewing, you just put the gecko tape. Similarly, they have a surgical glue, which is based on the mucus of sandcastle worms. And this glue works not only in the wet environments, but is strong enough to hold even a beating heart. Amazing, isn't it? Now, what happens is, it's never a matter of simply copying with nature. The scientist, aims at identifying the real human need and then see whether there's anything in nature that can enable the person to do it. But is medicine the only thing that is gaining by study of Mother Nature? No. Robotics, the love of the modern man and the modern scientist, has the building of a biological model. And that has enabled bots that can do amazing things. For example, the robotic engineers recently designed a 100-gram robot that works together and lifts like ants. Now, when 6 of these robots are together, that is 600 grams, they can lift 1,800 kilogram car. The robo ants, the concept of ants basically, can be applied to solve many problems. The continuing symptom of climate change, we, the aging population, at a higher risk of cancer, and the digital society is susceptible to cyber attack. So we need fresh solutions. And these machines, medical devices and robots are a testament to the wisdom of the natural world. Have you ever thought why nature is more valuable than we have ever thought it to be? Why is it that we go back to nature? There are four major reasons. The first is that technology mimics ecosystem. Nature through evolution has been solving problems without man's intervention. But that took a long time. The natural system adapted themselves to the changed environment. Now, that was taking the process of evolution is a long time, and technology is a revolutionary process which increases the speed of the adaptation. So, for example, we study the swarm of ants that run around and never bump each other. And that enabled the scientists to develop an algorithm for self-driving cars. Now they study the swarm of nature, ants, they are running around each other. It's like leaves in a forest, but they never bump into each other. So why could not the same algorithm be used to make the self-driving cars? And here, presto, the self-driving cars are there. Then the second is nature-inspired materials enabled us to copycat nature. What? We call that plastic is biodegradable, not biodegradable. That is polluting. But suppose you invent nature that disintegrates in weeks rather than in years. Biology can be harnessed to create non-toxic products that are reliable for the user life. Then imagine there is an Amazonian butterfly wing called morpho. And by the physical structure of this wing, inspires self-cleaning surfaces, industrial sensors, and photonic security tags. Can you believe that just one butterfly in a jungle of 10 million animals and plants can clean everything? Everything. 10 million plants and insects and animals, and just one butterfly called morpho. So that is a system which we are using for our self-cleaning processes. You see, what happens is, look at your ecosystem, and that ecosystem can be adapted to the human nature. Porous pavements that evacuate rainwater, bioluminescent trees, and the buildings of self-healing concrete. The crack comes, they heal themselves. Electric cars, powered by renewable energy, pollution being sucked by the huge vacuum cleaners to ensure clean air. These are the innovations that have come and are being used. And the cities have potential to exist if they adapt these innovations. Then nature is a great hack. So why not use this hack for our help? Mangroves, for example, help protect exposed coastal areas from adverse climate. So why not copycat mangroves? And nature doesn't live outside. As a species, our bodies have evolved to improve our health and functioning. So human enhancement is entering into a new era of possibility and ethical dilemma. And the most important thing is a transition to clean economy. By harnessing nature, the human beings can generate energy that is perpetually renewable. Nature can take us further. The same swarm logic from ants can be applied to smart grids to manage the flow of energy more efficiently and reduce peak electrical demand. Now imagine the possibility of replicating photosynthesis to capture carbon dioxide and emit hydrogen and water. And as a matter of fact, Virginia Technical University people have designed a super molecule and just done that. Now imagine the huge benefit that you are replicating photosynthesis, you are capturing carbon dioxide and emitting hydrogen and water. It would be the harbinger, the beginning of a clean, absolutely clean economy. And then you see, we are talking only of one. For example, a study of how many calories move through coral reefs. That demonstrates the natural systems maximize energy. We have more plastic in the ships, in our oceans, than fish. So we can do that by using the movement of calories in the coral reefs. We have the possibility to reduce illicit wildlife trafficking by using remote sensing and tracking devices. And those remote sensing and tracking devices can be based on the study of owls and vultures. They track the dead body like anything. Blockchain could be used to register innovations from nature and intellectual property to the highest bidder. This would be possible if we ensure the return of the revenue to the people who conserve nature. Basically the whole concept has to change. We have to have an inclusive bioeconomy where Mother Nature is a source of all technological progress and where our study of nature, wedded to the human need, creates a new product that might look to be new, but is nothing but an adaptation of what Mother Nature did millions of years back. Imagine everything that you have around you, everything is a creation of human mind based on observation of nature and adapting, sometimes changing, altering to suit the needs, but that's why they use the word adapting to the need. And we think of that. For example, the vaccines. You inject the virus in the body and that fights a disease and you are cured. And the grandmoms used to say, well, if you have a bad cold, don't worry. And I remember when I had a bad cold, my grandmother never asked me not to go out in the cold. She said, okay, go in the fresh air and the cold in the fresh air will cure you. That was basically imbibing, or rather having vaccine of cold air in my lungs. And I could fight the cold air. So, we have the capacity to solve any of our problems. And that capacity is based on Mother Nature. What is required is a proper appreciation, proper comprehension. And we are lucky that there's a small segment of human society, the researchers, the scientists, the savants, as I call them, who have a keen, penetrating insight into the working of nature, who have brains that can capture the fine nuances of diverse aspects of the working of nature, capture them, adapt them, and then use them for the human need. But it is the Mother Nature that mothers all technological progress. Think about it. How we are still essentially beholden to Mother Nature for our welfare, for our health, for our progress, for our economy, everything. Nothing is immune from the impact of nature. Let's cherish it. Thank you.